Hey, it's me. It's Soul. It's National Donut Day today. I got coffee. Yeah, right over here. Of course, I have a delicious donut, and we're about to get it on. So, I gotta catch this guy first. Hold on.
Hello?
Here we go.
What am I doing here? What are you, hey, ow! Hey, help!
Ooh, there we
I'm
go.
trapped. Hey, no, gotcha, no, it smells. There's a big panda bear inside. He's looking at me. Uh-oh. Hi, hello.
Good day to you all. This is Soul, and this is another episode of Warcraft Weekly. If you didn't know, we're going to soon approach 150 episodes of this thing. Hey, Bob, did you know that?
I had no idea we were even counting.
We are.
Well, so how close are we to 150?
Before we start, I asked you folks at home and on the toilet, what are you playing this weekend? And I decided that, hey, I'm going to choose someone at random, and that person is going to win a free month of WoW game time. Mo Cooper 247 writes, what will I be playing? For sure with myself, Idic. Tomb Raider just downloaded it. Oh wait, now I got WoW work to do. Zug.
People are weird.
Idic? Congratulations, Mo Cooper. You're going to receive a free month of WoW game time. All you got to do is send me your email, preferably in a comment below so I know who you are, or through one of my social media doohickeys and all that, and then I'll get that game time to you. Speaking of being giving, I gotta let you know that next week happens to be my birthday, and I know I'm being a little bit selfish, a little self-centered.
A little?
But I would appreciate it, just a small gesture, leave a little kind happy birthday comment below, some positive energy. It feels pretty good. And I'm going to choose another lucky someone from the US region to win another month of WoW game time. So go. We have another filled out show this week as usual, so let's get ready for some of the good, the bad, and the Titan Forged. We're so clever. You might have noticed a tiny little thing over on Wowhead, WoW's biggest fan site, that I should add is slightly biased towards the Alliance.
You mean biased towards righteousness and justice?
Whatever, man. For the Horde, right? Yeah. Anyway, there are new filter types that you can click here in a pull down that will let you choose your viewing experience. So if all you want to see is PTR stuff, you spoiler-hungry person, you can choose to only see that, or whatever the heck else you decide to filter. This isn't perfect though, because the way Wowhead designs its site, if you filter out enough stuff, you could essentially see nothing unless you go to the right page number where you might see the things you want to see. So if you want to look at, the latest guide that was released, you'd have to go to page... No, see there we go. But on the flip side, if you long for the good old days of this, you could also filter everything out anyway, saving on precious bandwidth.
Yay, bandwidth caps.
And cleaning up your viewing experience. In a recent PTR build, WoW had discovered just how much it'll cost to buy your favorite Azeroth pieces for Season 3, and it's like Legion artifact power scaling high.
So, stupid high.
It is, and naturally players are pissed. Like, oh my god, the game is useless, it'll take forever to farm, oh my god, I can't wait for Classic to raid endlessly to get a Dragonstalker helmet from Molten Core that took like 44 weeks to drop, and when it did, the other hunter got it because he had higher DKP, and when it was finally my turn, all that dropped was a Shaman helmet, and I play Alliance. Boo. But now, strap in, I'm going to drone on with a probably reasonable explanation. As you should already know, Titan Residuum is the currency that's used to buy these mythic pieces of gear. Now, unlike the 6-week period between patch 8.1 and Season 2 to try farming for this residuum, players have had all of Season 2 to farm in preparation for Season 3. The prices that you see here are, in fact, stupid. At least in the sense that the residuum that you've been stockpiling is going to feel less fruitful than it should be. So why didn't Blizzard just introduce a new currency instead? I'm going to throw a guess out there, and I'm going to say that, well, it's because they didn't want you to make your Mythic Plus adventures feel entirely wasted, after the point when you had completed your Azeroth set. But it might feel wasted anyway, because at best, you might have stockpiled enough that within that first week of the upcoming Mythic Plus season, you might be able to buy one random Mythic piece. It's just that that's as far as you're getting. Afterwards though, we should, Operative Wood should, have a weekly experience that's pretty much identical to Season 2. Between opening your Mythic Plus goodie chest, scrapping current Azeroth gear, and the occasional boat mission or whatever it is that gets you Titan Residuum, the rate at which you get Azeroth gear after your first piece should feel the same. So these prices here represents pretty much a reward for the most hardcore. It's a boost to be a week or so ahead of their counterparts, and that's a practice that's not unheard of. There are plenty of people who farm for the future, even if in the long run, the reward is diminished over time. That's video games, yo.
Hey, you're right.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, that was a lot of droning.
Moving on, while BlizzCon ticket holders are going to receive their own Super Bright and Poppy Orc or Footman statue, you people at home and elsewhere can pre-order a statue for yourself before they stop taking them on June 19th. The Blizzard team came out and showcased this in a video, and I haven't seen it yet, but like, wow, the response was like this super viral meme. I think I want to take a look at this.
I love that he is holding his axe on his shoulder, that he's standing on a training dummy. I noticed that the pre-order sale closes on June 5th.
Well, Randy, I was actually able to pull in a couple of favors for you.
Huh.
Okay, so the backlash, I think, is more anti-marketing than anything else, and no contest here. But I think there was a wasted opportunity here. I mean, there was a Blizzard Media Summit, a couple of weeks ago. A bunch of people were invited.
Not me.
And I think it would have been more, organic if they were given their own statues so they can take them back and talk about it amongst their followers and viewers and so on and so forth. Or they could have a nice little photo op instead of a cat doing it. I don't know these things. I'm not a marketing guy. I just like non-cringy things.
That's really ironic to say.
In unofficial news, Kotaku broke a story that Blizzard canceled a major Starcraft project in favor of other projects like the unannounced Diablo 4 and, surprisingly, a game that's being called Overwatch 2. Both of these games will be officially announced at this year's BlizzCon, according to the report. A guy called The Internet sent out a massive Twitter backlash over the idea that Overwatch 2 is Overwatch 2 soon. That was good. That is totally going in the thumbnail. And yet these same critics failed to make a decent mobile joke because apparently this has nothing to do with mobile, and the joke itself has become far worse than the source material. I'm just not going to play it because, well, I don't want to be proven wrong. According to the reports, this StarCraft game was going to be a first-person shooter with a Battlefield kind of feel, and was being worked on for about 2 years before the project was cancelled. No one was exactly laid off, they were just moved to other projects. So is this really news? I mean, I guess it's news because it's about Blizzard, and anything negative about Blizzard is clickbait these days, cha-ching. But in only the few years that I was working inside the gaming industry, I've seen canceled projects happen fairly frequently. I tested games that if they passed, they could hit store shelves within a month or so, or they can enter the digital store within days. So the games that I tested were pretty much done. And even then, a handful of those, despite my testing and despite me passing them, they ended up being canceled anyway. I wonder how those people feel. I have no doubt that within the vaults of pretty much every game studio, especially a big old production house like Blizzard, there is pretty much a graveyard of fully fleshed out concepts and ideas, fantastic art, and story that will never see the light of day.
Because you aren't pre-ordering or buying enough loot boxes.
This is my non-professional opinion, but personally, I don't think I'd give too much attention to a StarCraft first-person shooter that's competing in a very crowded space that right now is dominated by a younger audience. And I'd argue that StarCraft wouldn't be able to penetrate. If PUBG was the premier battle royale game out there, I think I would have a different opinion on this. As for Diablo 4, well, I've been on record saying that it should have been announced at last year's BlizzCon, even if they had nothing more than a title, Diablo 4, The Hunt for Bob, or something.
Yay.
As for Overwatch 2, even though it's going to be 4 years old next year, no, I don't think there should be a sequel to replace the first one, but nothing in the report indicates that this so-called Overwatch 2 is going to directly replace the current game. For all we know, it's a re-release of the same engine, with the same feel, same everything, only with a crap ton of added features such as a PvE component, which is mentioned in the report. So for all we know, the official announcement for Overwatch 2 will be more like Overwatch 2.0, an expansion, if you want to call it that. Whatever it ends up being, though, I'm going to save my actual excitement for November, because until then, this isn't news, it's just a rumor. So let's break from the news for just a moment.
For some ice cream.
For some ice cream. Oh, yes. No. It's not time for ice cream. It's time for the what of the week. Comments throughout the world of Warcraft that make you go, what? This comment happens to be from a video that I laid out a few weeks ago. 10 ways to get ready before patch 8.2. 10 things to do before patch 8.2. 1. Cancel sub. 2. Uninstall the game. 3. Wait until August 27th. 4. Reinstall the game. 5. Pay your sub. 6. Play Classic. 7. Don't get into retail ever again. 6, 7... What? There were actually similar comments in this video. This one was just special because they didn't count to 10. There's tons of absurdity with his comments, like how you can't literally do all these things because it's pretty likely that 8.2 is going to come out before Classic WoW. And reasonably, if nothing else, you might want to hop onto your old WoW account anyway because, I don't know, you want to collect some anniversary rewards or you want to set up your garrison to generate enough gold to just keep buying WoW tokens so you can play Classic for free? I mean, you're going to be subscribed to both games anyway, so I'll get to my real concerns about these kinds of comments at the end of the weekly, but at least for now, I will leave the reactions to you. Over the past week or so, Blizzard unveiled new products over at the Blizzard store, including a track jacket that would make a pretty cool birthday gift. I think it looks pretty sweet and it's great for summer weather.
Yeah, at midnight.
Meanwhile, Uniqlo, which made a series of Blizzard shirts a while back, and I'm actually sporting one right now, woo woo, they're going to return with another assortment of Blizzard shirts. I'm going to have a link to their preview below, and this stuff will be available to the public on June 17th. Some of these are pretty stylish and artsy, while others are, you know, I don't know what to say.
Hey, you know what would be a cool shirt for the people at home?
Yeah, what's that?
My shirt.
Ah, yes, that's right.
Yeah, buy my shirts.
Okay, Bob.
Make me rich.
Dude.
Popping bottles in the ice. Like a blizzard.
Anyway, moving away from the physical goods and going to the digital stuff, Blizzard published a simple but effective article, a list of mounts, pets, toys, and more that's coming in patch 8.2. I'm glad they made this list because there is a ton of stuff.
Like recycled skins at excessive prices.
You're totally right, but the fact of the matter is that there's things to get for pretty much everyone, including people who will otherwise run out of stuff to collect unless they shell out some absurd amounts of gold. I know that there are many players who like doing lots of things, so it is cool that there's a lot that we can work towards.
Yeah, but will it be fun?
I hope so. According to a blue post detailing the end of Season 2 PvP, we now know that Season 3 of Battle for Azeroth will begin 2 weeks after patch 8.2 launches.
Meanwhile, the patch won't be out until November.
No, it won't. Probably. Now, you heard me go over this subject back in January with the launch of Season 2, because I was pretty disappointed that there was a 6-week gap between patch 8.1 and Season 2 beginning. It was really confusing for players and it was a discussion topic for weeks. So I'm really glad that Blizzard is being very transparent and they're putting an end to the guesswork. Giving us 2 weeks to get warmed up to the content sounds pretty reasonable. It does take a lot of the pressure off of trying to farm for top-end bent gear, but it doesn't feel like so long of a wait that those of us who are absolutely dying to get into the new dungeon or raid won't be sitting around waiting for too long. I'm pretty certain I'm going to see a number of comments talking about time gating and yada yada yada, but I'll respond to some of that now. Y'all tripping.
No one says tripping anymore.
But there is still the when. When is patch 8.2 coming? Next Thursday is roughly going to be the middle of June, meaning that a Q&A should come next week, or at the latest the week after if Blizzard wants to launch 8.2 this month. If not, it might launch July 2nd in the Americas, which makes it July 3rd in Europe, meaning the day after, Well, that's the 4th of July. That's a national holiday, and that's just before a weekend on top of that.
Yeah, so November.
No, it's not going to be in November, dude. In less related WoW news, YouTube channels across the board are being demonetized. They are specifically no longer able to receive money through advertisements, typically because of hateful rhetoric, violence, and so-called radicalized behavior. Now, even the most fervent anti-WoW haters or Blizzard shills don't typically fall under these categories, but this is a moment to point out and remind you that there's always this fear of a channel finding itself to be on shaky ground.
And now it's time to ask for money.
I'm not, but I'm still putting this segment in the back of the video because if you're watching, you're pretty hardcore, and I appreciate that. Seriously though, all I'm saying is that for your favorite creators, whether it's me or your actual favorite creators, showing your appreciation through your generosity is definitely felt. It could be a straight up donation, or buying merch, being a patron, or whatever else some of these people do. Awesome things like that let us continue providing content for everyone. Many of you have graced me with a compliment that I bring a bit more sensibility to WoW commentary, and I appreciate that. There's still a lot more room to grow, and I want to get out there and reach more and more people. Blindly throwing money my way might kind of feel good, but it's not really the answer. But spreading the word and sharing me with people who might have never heard of me might make a difference. After all, we could always use a little bit more company during our streams where we feel like one small happy family. I want to keep doing this, and for the most part, it's up to me to make sure that happens. But you could always help too. Maybe I'll just tell them I got rid of Bob and then they'll come running back.
Hey.
Dude, shh, it's just a lie.
Oh, okay.
And finally, maybe you can skip this part unless you're like a super hardcore breezy. The toxicity that I've been seeing around the Warcraft space as of late, it's felt a little bit more palpable, I think. It's due, at least in part, to Classic WoW, which I'm glad is coming, but I feel a little bit concerned. When Vanilla WoW came out, like a little while back, it rode on this hype of curiosity. This is a translation of a real-time strategy game. Can it work? What's there to discover? And how is this going to hold up against other games like EverQuest? With WoW Classic coming, at least in my head, I can almost visualize it as this second coming of WoW that is no doubt going to generate, and it has generated, a lot of excitement and happiness. And for those who have never played Classic, it'll be another gift of curiosity. And yet it also feels like this wave is riding on a lot of negativity in part of Classic fans. Beloved and former WoW content creator Crucial, aka Hellscream, notes that, hey, there's salt being thrown from both sides. I guess there are sides, and that toxicity goes both ways. That's true. I think that these sides are remarkably uneven, though. When I see comments like this, I've got to try pretty hard to get into the heads of these people, because they've got to make a conscious effort to go into this kind of video, which is just a guide, and troll it, or, okay, try to troll it with some smart-ass comment, all to make them feel better. I did approximately like 4 minutes of research, but I can conclusively say that it's much easier to find bashing on today's game than bashing on Classic WoW. Now, there are many reasons to dislike WoW. There are as many reasons as there are critics, and I'm a little bit concerned about what might happen after August 27th when Classic WoW is released. The question is whether this crowd is going to be soothed or sated with this classic satisfaction. Can we, individual players of the version of WoW that we like playing, can we sit in our own little worlds and just enjoy the game that we love without stomping on the views of others? Or will nothing change? Will this toxic side of Classic WoW fandom still have plenty of time to bash the game that they put behind them for fun? I don't know. I admit that it's pretty sad to see this sort of behavior. I mean, I don't play everything that Warcraft offers, but overall, I love the franchise. I'm a fan. We can read the books, we can play the RTS, we can play the card game, the MMO, pretty soon the old MMO. Maybe I'm just old and dumb and incapable of taking a stand on anything like some have said. Maybe it's impossible to just feel the love and energy that comes from being a fan and have to deal with the ugliness of reality. I couldn't find where this series of images came from, but it's about this fictional world where it wasn't about the console wars, this is about consoles and stuff, but it was just about sharing what we have in common, that we love video games. Toxicity has always existed in some way, shape, or form, but it feels like over the past however many years, the air shifted and it turned fandom into something else. I'm not going to deny detractors from having a voice or say that we should ignore fellow fans just because they're not being nice. I'm going to keep welcoming conversation because that's what I do, and this has gotten really sad, so hey, here's a puppy. Next week, I'm going to do the thing that I said that I was going to do, I think like 2 years ago. Prisoner of Warcraft, the series. I'm going to do it. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to talk about my experience in vanilla WoW. It's going to be long. This might totally disrupt my whole production schedule. It's going to be raw. It's going to be real. I have a lot of fond memories to share, but it's not going to be hidden behind no rose-colored glasses, that's for sure. I hope you like it, so stay tuned for that. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video and all that stuff, and we'll see you next week. Until then, stay safe, stay happy, and stay breezy.